Hello. First things first.
You're what they call a fashion victim.
My friend got it for me for my birthday. Secondly, I wasn't going to do this on this channel. I was going to do like a little catch up, do my makeup or whatever and put it on the second channel because I've decided to quit the podcast. So my third channel is now my second channel. The podcast, don't worry about it. But I'm just going to complain here because I'm fed up. And if you don't want to listen to me complaining, then, I don't know, skip ahead like 20 minutes. Well, you're here, aren't you? You're here to listen to me complain. That's all these videos are. I'm fed up. The constant moving around has means that I am frequently just losing stuff. A cable here, a spigot. What the hell is a spigot? There. So I lost the spigot to my light stand. It's like this big. So this is what I'm contending with. So if you don't like the lighting in this video, tough shit. I don't like it either. Now I am actually moved in somewhere and I'm going to be here for at least a few months. But yes, the sale of the place that I was going to move into fell through in the final week. Like I did that video about Tana Mojo and the whole wine tour debacle where she docks. It was Tana Mojo's fault because she was being obnoxious and rude. This is not my fault. It is not my fault at all. God, I wish so much that I could dock some people for just fucking wasting my time. This has been my... I know there are worse things going on in the world right now, but this has been my life since October. Moving around constantly. Being financially ruined from the constant travel and having to, live out of 3 bags and losing something of my equipment every single time because I've actually got look, I've lost a fucking microphone. I'm having to use this. I might get a handhold one actually because I do quite like it. I think I prefer it to the one that just sits on, more flexible in it. But these motherfucking time wasters, I don't even know how much that I can say. It's done, it's dusted, it's over. Thank fuck it's over. Didn't want to move there anyway. Didn't want to move to your shit heap anyway. Go to hell. I didn't do anything wrong. Don't anyone think that I'm just wilding out for no reason. I am the collateral damage to this because no one cares about me. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm here at a place for a few months and I'm just going to have to move somewhere new. Again. It's fine. I'll be rewarded in the next life, I'm sure. I don't want to complain. I do want to complain. I've been so stressed out that I think I'm going to die. I'm surprised I've never had a rage-induced heart attack anyway, because it doesn't take much to get me going and get me angry. But then when I am wronged and it's not actually my fault, I've not actually done, because usually I'm the one doing stuff wrong. I instigate.
I like to scream, I like to holler, I like to break things, I like to yell.
Yeah, usually I cause arguments, whatever. But this time I've not done. This is righteous indignation. Doesn't matter. It's in the past. Oh yeah, and it was my birthday recently. So if by any chance any of you out there are watching this and are a millionaire and or billionaire, I'm not that picky, please send 100,000 billion pounds to me on PayPal. Just cause. Oh, and also, I'm convinced that I'm going to die this weekend because I'm flying. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, if you haven't followed my podcast or my other channels or whatever, you've probably not heard me speak of this. I have a severe phobia of flying. Don't you dare, don't anyone start to write in the comments, this. I know more than you. Insert that Ron Swanson meme where he's like, stop, I know more than you. I know the stats and statistics. I know that every single year it gets 5% safer to fly. I know your chances of being in a plane accident is something like 1 in 11 million, and a fatal accident is 0.002% out of 1. I don't know how that works. I know all that stuff, but I don't know how to do percentages properly. I know all of that. And yet, what if the government want to take me out? Because when I was a teenager, I read too much about the Illuminati. Anyway. So, touch wood, but if anything happens, it was nice knowing you all. Hopefully I get back safely. I'm going on a little trip just cause. Did I say I'm going to Brussels? I'm going to Brussels because I've never been. And flying and a hotel was actually way cheaper than just getting the Eurostar. So that's the thing. I'm excited. I'm scared. Shall I do a video on like how I've been trying on my second channel on how I've been trying to get over my flight phobia? Because like I stayed in an Airbnb. The last video that I filmed, it was an Airbnb next to an airport, and it's actually really helped with immersion therapy because every few minutes didn't help content wise. I couldn't film properly, but every few minutes airplanes were going over and they were like so low and stuff. And you know, none of those people died. So it's kind of helped a little bit. Shall we get on with today's video? For today's video, we're looking at The House of Night, book 7. Because my goal for 2024 is not a lot really, but it is try to get the House of Night series done. Because like, what if, you know, I started this series and then some people really liked it and then like those people died? Death is on my mind today. I'm really, really stressed out. It's not just this. There was a thing with the boiler earlier and I managed to get it working somehow because I looked at the pipes and I was like, oh, it's just water Lego in it. Right, that pipe's going to there. I'm going to turn this valve. And then I heard something happen. And then the hot water came back on. Lukewarm, actually, at best. But it was enough. It was enough to have a shower. So, you know, if YouTube fails, I can start selling my services as a plumber. So there's that. That's all good. Oh, yeah. Death is coming.
Death is coming. Death is here. Death is outside.
People might have like watched that first one, enjoyed it, and then died, and I never finished doing it. Kind of how I feel about you know, the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. You know, he started that in like the 70s or 80s. There are people who died, right, wondering how that ended because for decades he was like, I don't really know how to end it, so I'm just not going to bother. Like until he did end it. Imagine that, taking like a 20-year hiatus. That's me from my life. Anyway, House of Night, book 7. Shall we just get on with it? Chapter 1. Colonna, at the end of the last novel, killed Heath, and he's not bothered by it. He doesn't really care until Zoe throws spirit at him, and then her soul shatters. I cannot even speak. Not Zoe. He never meant to cause her harm, even through all of Nefere's machinations, through all of the Cease Gilly's manipulations and plans. He'd held tight to the knowledge that, in spite of everything, he would use his vast immortal powers to keep Zoe safe, because ultimately she was the closest he could come to Nyx in this realm. She has almost died a few times because of Colonna or because of Refame or whatever, so good job protecting her already, big stupid idiot Birdman. Good job. Anyway, immortal Colonna is really upset that a teenager is going to die because he won't be able to bang her, and he only really wants to bang her because she reminds him of the goddess Nyx. That's where we're at. Nefret finds him in a sad, pathetic pile. You know that her soul shattered. Colonna hated the unnatural weakness in his voice and the strange lethargy in his body almost as much as he hated the effect Nefret's icy beauty had on him. I imagine most of the vampires on the island know it. Typically for her, Zoe's spirit wasn't exactly quiet in its leave-taking. I love Nefret. She's become my favourite character. Indeed, she said, still distracted by her thoughts. Then Nefret's eyes widened as a new realization came to her. I have long wondered how it was that I emerged to wound you, such a physically powerful immortal. Bad enough that those ridiculous Cherokee hags could entrap you. Why is she so sassy? Like, chill out. Nefret works out Colonna can be hurt via his spirit. Also, Nefret can now control the darkness with a capital D. Not the Justin Hawkins band, but like the white bull thing in this. Yeah. Zoe's soul also has a habit of reincarnating, he said, purposely baiting Nefret to try to throw her off her focus. Then I will destroy her over and over again. Good for her. Stupid. So my laptop, we already know. We know that my laptop is a massive piece of shit, but it's doing this fun new thing, and don't tell me to delete the caches. I've done all that stuff. So in this fun new thing, where if you just want to scroll, it will get the little like rainbow wheel, the little like LGBT plus wheel, and it'll just freeze for like 20 seconds if you just want to scroll. And I would get a new laptop if I don't want to sit here and complain about. No. Like, why shouldn't I complain about money? Why are we taught that money's such a dirty thing to talk about? I'm I'm financially ruined because of these absolute donuts. Decided to just waste time for months. I am just not convinced that they ever even wanted to like sell their property in the first. I'm genuinely not convinced. I think that like maybe their kink is to waste people's time. Like maybe that is that. I'm not. Oh my god! And everyone is just. Everyone is. I'm gonna. I am broken. I might look amazing right now. Thank you for noticing. Like, I spent ages on my makeup, and then I realized that the stand in my spigot was missing, and then I might look amazing, but I'm actually a broken person. I'm a shell of a human inside. I really am. I'm laughing because otherwise I'm going to cry, and also I'm hungry, but it's okay. I just won't spend any money on food. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What? Right. Let's just get on with it. Nefret. He tried to reach her by using her name. Do you truly understand what it is you are attempting to command? Her gaze met his, and for the first time, Kelowna saw the scarlet stain that nested in the darkness of her eyes. Of course I do. It's what lesser beings call evil. I am not a lesser being, and I, too, have called it evil. Ah, not for centuries you haven't. Her laughter was vicious, but it seems I love her. I'm going to cry. But it seems lately... Tears. This feels like I'm hosting a podcast and I'm being like really cozy in my little Pedro Pascal tea and my little burrito blanket. It seems lately you've been living too much with the shadows from your past instead of reveling in the lovely dark power of the present. I know who is to blame for that. So it's okay to spend centuries doing evil as long as you fall in lust with a teenager and then suddenly renounce your past. Because we know he's going to get redeemed. We know that. Because it's women who are the problem. We've already covered that. Good. Nefret wants to send Kelowna's spirit to the other world to make sure that Zoe stays dead. Even though if his soul is parted for too long from his body, he could go mad. I'd rather be mad than be in this book. Do not threaten me. I released you from your imprisonment. I loved you. And then I watched you fawn over that simpering teenager. Don't blame the other woman, Nefret. Blame the sicko man for being a nonce. Anyway, Nefret makes a blood sacrifice to the darkness and makes Kelowna swear to do the task. If he doesn't complete it, Nefret will control him forever. So, it's just a standard Tuesday in the House of Night books. Chapter 2, Refame. Yes, there's like 10 different POVs in this book. Refame is dreaming about poetry, which is a bit embarrassing, really.
When I am sad, I don't cry, I pour. When I am happy, I don't smile, I glow. When I am angry, I don't yell, I burn.
He wakes up and sees a ghost child. That does not go anywhere, by the way. We have actual ghosts in this book, which is good to know, but it really doesn't go anywhere in this book anyway. He threatens the ghost girl, so she disappears. He's hiding at the haunted mansion place from the last one. I don't even know anymore. He's also upset that Stevie Ray hasn't seen him yet because one imprint has turned him into a big old simp. Also, he believes that it's the imprint's fault that he hasn't healed properly yet, that basically Stevie Ray is getting all the good parts of his immortal blood, leaving him with nothing. So I just wonder, are imprints actually good for anyone in the series except for the vampires? Like, sure, the humans get to feel horny during the blood drinking, but beyond that, they can die, like at the end of the last book of Aphrodite, they can die if like their vampire goes into shock or is really hurt. And this half immortal being cannot heal or use his powers properly because Stevie Ray, the vampire, is like siphoning like the powers. Is it good for anyone except for the vampires? It just seems stupid. He tries to break the imprint himself. I call upon the power of the spirit of ancient immortals, which is mine by birthright to command, to break. The wave of despair crashed over him, and Refame staggered against the balcony's railing. The sadness radiated throughout his body with such force that it drove him to his knees. There he remained, gasping with pain and shock. What is happening to me? Next, an odd alien fear filled him, and Refame began to understand. These are not my feelings, he told himself, trying to find his own centre within the maelstrom of distress. These are her feelings. So instead of breaking the imprint, he sends her energy to strengthen her and draws him to her to, find out why she's upset. It's pathetic. It's like simpery 101. Chapter 3, Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray woke up feeling like a big old pile of poo. Well, actually, she felt like a big old pile of stressed out poo. Go away. Sweet weeping puppies, Dallas. You nearly scared me spitless. Stevie Ray clutched at the white hospital-like sheet that covered her. What in the Sam Hill are you doing here? What language is this? I don't want to know. Dallas guesses that the other red fledglings tried to kill Stevie Ray and that she's lying to protect them. What are you going to do about them? You can't just let them get away with this. I won't, but they're my responsibility and I'm going to take care of them myself. Yeah, because you did such a good job of that last time. Dallas's grin changed to laughter as he stood up. Now that sounds like my girl. I can't wait for his heart to break when he finds out she's imprinted with an immortal bird boy. A murderous immortal bird boy at that. Her back has magically healed with no scars because we just couldn't have that, could we? I'm not going to die, she said firmly. Dallas bent, cupped her chin in his hand, and kissed her tenderly on the lips. With a strange automatic reaction, Stevie Ray jerked away from him. Nice, normal, fit vampire boy? No! Half bird, half boy, raven face? Yes. He was sweet and smart, and he proved he understood her by standing there looking all sorry and kind of lowering his head in an adorable way that made him look like a little boy. I love it when my men look like little children. Lenobia appears, but she's been crying, and she tells Stevie Ray what happened with Heath, Kelowna, and Zoe. I won't, Stevie Ray yelled. I can't. Dallas, get me my jeans and stuff. I gotta get out of here. I gotta figure out a way to help Z. She didn't give up on me, and I'm not giving up on her. This isn't about you. Dragon Langford spoke. Finally, someone said it. Now, someone just needs to say this to Zoe as well. Control your grief, Dragon said, and take up Zoe's mantle. No one can be Zoe, Stevie Ray cried. Please. Anyone could be, just as long as Nyx made them OP enough. She could give all the affinities to Stevie Ray right now if she really wanted. If she can take away Aphrodite's vampirism somehow, and by the way, why is that not more looked into by the entire community? That Nyx just took away someone's vampirism and made them human, but still not human enough because she still has her visions. If she can do that, then she can give any fledgling an affinity for all the elements. But Stevie Ray, even I've heard about what happens when a soul leaves a body. The person dies. So, of course, Zoe is going to be the only vampire / fledgling ever to come back from a shattered soul. She's like Jesus having a 3-day server lag and coming back to life in that cave. Stevie Ray has a good cry, and then a cold breeze caresses her. It's from Refame. He sent a wind to blow her sins away. She decides to go see him, see if he knows anything more about this. I'll go to him, and if he can't help me, then I think, imprint or no imprint, I'm going to have to kill him. Literally why? He didn't do any of this. Chapter 4, Aphrodite. Like, already there are too many POVs in this book. Aphrodite has been left out of the High Council chamber because she's a human despite all the visions and stuff, and yet everyone else is let in, even like the useless idiotic fledglings are let in, but not Aphrodite, who is like a direct telepathic link to Nyx. I am not hysterical. Aphrodite spoke the words slowly, distinctly, and with forced calm, attempting to totally make up for the fact that the reason she'd been left outside the High Council chamber when Stark, followed by Darius, Damien, the twins, even Jack. Aphrodite is smarter, better, and more gifted than everyone else on that list. Like, definitely include, like, Jack is an idiot. Jack don't even have an affinity for nothing, apart from, like, he's good with laptops, because that counts now. So, her not being allowed in because she's quote-unquote human is stupid, because she's not human. She gets visions directly from Nyx. What other human has that? Basically, they're just kind of being racist. So you think I'm just a human kid, do you? Aphrodite got all into the vampire's personal space, which made Alizee take an automatic step back. Think again. I'm a prophetess of Nyx. Remember her? Nyx, as in your goddess who is the boss of you. I do not need to be some guy's refrigerator to have the right to go before the High Council. Nyx herself gave me the right. Now move the hell out of my way. She's right. But Nefre appears and tells Alizee to let her in and she will take responsibility for her. They go into the chamber together and Zoe's friends are all being useless by just crying. And yet Aphrodite weren't going to be allowed to go in. But those idiots are doing nothing but standing around crying. Get a life. Aphrodite and Nefre bicker a bit. Aphrodite stepped around Nefre and looked squarely from one council member to another. I don't claim to be a prophetess. I am Nyx's prophetess because the goddess wants me to be. The truth is, if I had a choice about it, I wouldn't want the job. She kept speaking, even though several of the council members had gasped in shock. Why are they gasping like she's being blasphemous? Have they seen that Nyx's visions make her bleed from her eyes? I would tell Nyx to shove her job right up her ass too. Oh, and if anyone's wondering why I've been in the middle of moves since October, me too. I've been wondering why too. I don't even know like how much to say because I could rant about this for ages, but you're not here for that. But at the same time, some of you are interested in me, which is very nice. Thank you very much. Basically, the timeline that we were given was incorrect, and it was incorrect all the time. It was full of empty, broken promises. And if I'd have known that, well, we would have stayed put or been in a short-term rental, you know? Not this constant moving around the country every few weeks. There's constant bullshit. You know, my immediate relatives don't have the space for me to go live with them. The ones that do, I don't want to live with. Well, the timeline just kept being, oh, it's just a few weeks. And it's a few more weeks. And it's a few more weeks. Oh, and they've done stuff wrong. Oh, and they've written that wrong in the contract. Oh, they're not even really allowed to sell the property. I'm veering between, I don't want to seem like some snotty, annoying person that's being out of touch. Because I know, like, trying to buy a property in this fucking economy, like, I know. No, that's going to give the wrong impression. I was not buying anything. I had nothing to do with the whole buying side. It wasn't my sale. I'm not that mature. Yeah, I'm not that much of a grown. Me buying a place, behave. I don't want to appear like an annoying entitled brat, but at the same time, is it entitled to expect a timeline to be paid attention to? Is it entitled to want somewhere to live for more than like 3 weeks at a time? If I end up on like something, YouTuber being snotty and entitled because yes, I wanted somewhere to live for more than 3 weeks at any one time, then so be it. I guess I'm just out of touch and entitled. Anyway, let's just get on with it. Darius, why do you speak for this human? Asked the brunette. Dawnshire, I speak for this prophetess. He enunciated her title carefully. Because I have pledged myself to her as her warrior. Her warrior? Nefret couldn't keep the shock from her voice. But that means I can't be completely human because it's impossible for a vampire warrior to swear an oath bond with a human. Aphrodite finished for her. Again, what human has visions? And surely high priestesses of each school would keep the High Council up to date on fledglings with affinities. The council knew about Zoe and her 5 affinities. Logically, they would have known that Aphrodite was a prophetess of Nyx. Like, there should at least be records somewhere of which fledglings are particularly gifted, because it's in their best interest to know who has what, right? It's the next generation of vampires. They need to know this stuff. So even more logically, why has no one gone, hey, how come Nyx turned a fledgling back into a human? How is that even possible? Has she ever done that before? I feel like that whole subplot should be a much bigger deal than it's treated. Because for a fledgling, it's literally either you change or you die during the change. That's it. You reject the change or you change. Never has one just turned back into a human. Why does no one care about this at the High Council?
Clap if you care. All right, let's move on.
Aphrodite hurried down the stairway, leaving Nefre to follow behind her. She wanted to go straight to Zoe, but instinct made her stop in front of the brunette named Dawnshire first. She formally fisted her hand and pressed it over her heart, bowing respectfully. Thank you for letting me come in here. See, she's not a human. She has Nyx subconsciously reminding her to be polite. In a flutter of silk robes the colour of the night sky, the woman knelt beside Aphrodite. I am Thanatos. Do you know what my name means? Aphrodite shook her head, wishing Damien was sitting closer so she could peek at him for the answer. It means death. That's a lovely name, mate. Thanatos tells Aphrodite to ask Nyx for help with her vision, so Aphrodite prays because that's all it takes, apparently. Why don't they pray for Zoe to keep it in her pants and sever her connection to Kelowna then? Problem solved. Goddess, please. And not just because Zoe's like the sister my mum was too selfish to have. Aphrodite's mother abuses her. Physically, emotionally, whatever. So apparently her not having another child she can traumatize is considered selfish. Why do all of these authors have like a pronatalist fetish? She cradled the hand she'd been pressing against Zoe to her chest, gasping with fear. Then with a moan, she doubled up with vertigo, dry heaving, while tears and spit spewed from her face. I do not believe for a second that Zoe is worth dry heaving and dribbling over. They confirm that Zoe's spirit is in the other world, which we already know because it happened at the end of the last book. So to be already 10% into this book and have them only just reaffirm that is annoying. No, but I'll try again. And Darius's touch on her shoulder held her back from touching Zoe. No, you're still too weak from the breaking of your imprint with Stevie Ray. That doesn't matter. Zoe's dying. It matters. Do you want your soul to become a Zoe's? Thanatos said quietly. Aphrodite felt a stab of new terror. No, she whispered and covered Darius's hand with her own. And this is exactly why it's often unfortunate that the young are given great gifts by our loving goddess. They rarely have the maturity to know how to use them wisely, Nefret said. She's not wrong, is she? At her presence, Stark starts yelling that Nefret caused all of this. Ask any of Zoe's friends. Call Lenobia and Dragon Langford at the Tulsa House of Night. All of them will tell you that Nefret doesn't have to physically be present to cause someone's death, Stark said. He shook off Darius's restraining hand and swiped angrily at his face as if he just noticed he'd been crying. She can make really horrendous things happen even when she's not there, Damien spoke up hesitantly from across the room. The twins and Jack tearfully but forcefully nodded their support. There is no proof that Nefret had a hand in this deed, Duantia said gently to all of them. Then pray to Nyx and ask her for the truth. Stark keeps yelling at Nefret. Of course not. Use your mind and not your pathetic broken heart, warrior. I love Aggie Nefret. Can't believe she has to waste her precious time arguing with teenagers. Nefret has Kelowna's body brought in. Her palm warmed, but Aphrodite didn't need to sink into him to tell that... What? Her palm warmed, but Aphrodite didn't need to sink into him to tell Kelowna was... It's not me speaking all wrong and stuff. Sort your grammar out, dickhead. I've got no chill. I'm sorry. Like, the end of my patience happened 2 months ago and I've just been, like, barely holding on since then. Darkness told her, and with a jolt she realised that she should think of it as a capital D. That is what I said. There is not a single original thought on this planet or in this book series. Chapter 5, Zoe. Zoe, you have to wake up. Please, wake up and talk to me. The guy's voice was nice. I knew he was cute before I opened my eyes. Then I did open my eyes and smiled up at him because I definitely had been right. He was, as my BFF Kayla would say, a hottie covered with awesome sauce. Okay, yum. Even though my head was kind of fuzzy, I felt warm and happy. My smile turned into a grin. I'm awake. Who are you? The shock of everything has diminished Zoe from moron to complete babbling idiot. I fear the damage is irreparable. Zoe, do you know who you are? I blinked. That's a silly question. Of course I know who I am. I'm Zoe. It's a good thing the kid was cute, because he obviously wasn't the brightest Crayola in the pack. That is rich. Zoe's memories come back quickly to save us from this idiocy. Zoe, he pulled me back into his arms. It's okay. It's going to be okay. How's it going to be okay? I sobbed. You're dead. Zoe, babe, it's just what happens. I wasn't really scared. It didn't even hurt too much. He rocked me slowly and patted my back as he spoke to me in his calm, familiar voice. I like how he's comforting her, even though, you know, he's the one that's dead. Heath tells her that Nefret killed the teachers at her school. Lauren Blake? Shock was drying my tears and I wiped my face. Heath, as usual, pulled a wad of Kleenex out of his jean pockets. Wow, they have brands. Even in the afterlife, there really is no escaping capitalism. I stared at him as reality smacked me again. Then what happens when you're not there to give me snot rags? A sob escaped from my throat. And not there to remind me what home is like, what love is like, what being human is like. I was bawling again, big time. I like how she's just thinking about his use to her rather than his individual life, like what he does for her rather than him as a person. No, as I said the word, I saw a skittering, inky darkness slide past the edge of my vision. My stomach tightened and I thought I caught the sharp shape of horns. I think this is our first glimpse of the eternal evil giant white bull that's influencing Nefret's dark powers. There is a sentence that would have a Victorian child dying of shock. I don't know how many of you guys know, but a few years ago I wrote my own erotica, parodica, Piers Morgan's Vegan Lover. It's available on Kindle, via Amazon. It's 99p. I am doing my other one at the moment, but in case that doesn't come out in time, check this out. Give it a purchase. It's about Piers Morgan and his vegan lover. So what's there not to love about it? It is only 99p because that's how much a sausage roll from Greg's used to be. So I would love it if you could purchase it and up my Amazon rating. And go ahead and give me a rating on Goodreads. I just really want my silly little story to be an Amazon bestseller an almost entire 4 years after I first published it. I can't believe I did this 4 years ago and I didn't do anything since. But don't worry, I am working on something right now. But in case that doesn't come out, check out Piers Morgan's Vegan Lover, available on Kindle and Amazon for 99p. Heath tells Zoe to just go back to her body because apparently it's that easy, and the other people whose souls shattered just didn't try hard enough, but she refuses. There's also spirit pieces of her everywhere and weird trippy stuff is going on, so they run away. Chapter 6, Stevie Ray. I'm not going to be gone long, promise, she said, stopping as she got to the parking lot and looked around for Zoe's little blue car. Ha, there it is, and she always leaves the keys in it because the doors don't lock anyway. Stevie Ray jogged up to the bug opened the creaky door and gave a victory shout when she saw the keys dangling from the ignition. That is so convenient and stupid. She takes Zoe's car to go to Rafame. What has happened? He finally asked. How do you know something's happened? She snapped back at him. He hesitated before speaking, obviously choosing his words correctly. I know from you. You're not making any sense, Rafame. Is she dumb? She's had an imprint before. She knows they can feel each other's emotions and thoughts. Our imprint lets him know things about me. Is she conveniently forgetting all the time she outed Aphrodite's private thoughts to embarrass her? Huh? She tells Rafame what Kelowna did. Well, it's complicated. See, you've been kind of forced into the role of my consort since I'm the vampire here and all, and it's easier for a consort to sense things about their vampire than the other way round. What I get from you is my power, he broke in. She didn't think he sounded mad, just tired and almost hopeless. You get my immortal strength. Holy crap, that's why I healed so dang fast. Yes, and why I don't. The consorts get the shit end of the deal every single time, apart from getting to feel horny. Also, if that was completely true, how did Stevie Ray basically read Aphrodite's mind all of those times? They are just making this up as they go along, and they're not bothering to remember their own canon. Not because of that, but because Nyx believes in giving everyone free choice, and when I mess with a human's mind and implant stuff that he has no control over, I'm taking away his free choice. That's just not right. Nyx absolutely does not believe in free will, but that's a point I've hammered to death in the previous 6 videos. They eat sandwiches and chat shit. Stevie Ray eats a turkey sandwich, which is funny considering in the last book she couldn't stop going on about respecting life, and that's why she saved Rafame in the first place. But I guess some birds are just more important than others. Wait, is Rafame eating turkey too? Is this cannibalism? Chapter 7, Stevie Ray. Rafame tells Stevie Ray that Nefre is bad news. Nefre seduces my father and pretends to be his mate, but the only thing she really cares for is herself. Where he is filled with anger, she is filled with hatred. Hatred is a more dangerous ally. So you're sure Nefre would betray Kelowna to save herself? Stevie Ray asked. I'm certain Nefre would betray anyone to save herself. How has Bird Brains figured this out, but Kelowna, the almighty, eternal demigod, has not? Rafame keeps being like, where, my father? But they agree to work together to bring both Zoe and Kelowna back and deal with the consequences after. Father doesn't want Zoe dead. He simply wants to possess her. Oh, well, that's all right then, isn't it? Nefre is using my father to ensure Zoe's spirit doesn't return. She trapped his body whilst he was wounded and commanded his soul to do her bidding in the other world. But you said Kelowna was kicked out of there by Nyx. How could he go back? Rafame's eyes widened. His body was banished. You would think all-knowing Nyx would have prevented this loophole, or all-powerful Kelowna would have worked it out a lot sooner. She would die for Zoe. Of course she would. That is a bit dramatic for someone you've known for 3 months, but what do I know? Maybe I'm just a bad friend. But you said all we need is someone who is good with the spirit realm, like good enough that they can sense the darkness and spirit stuff, right? Yes. Well, there's a whole gaggle of powerful vamps on the High Council. One of them has to be able to do that. How convenient that we just met the vampire who has an affinity for death. He cocked his head to the side. It would be unusual for a vampire to have the ability to sense the dark forces the sea Sigilli is wielding. That is one reason Nefre has been able to keep up her charade for so long. Truly being able to identify hidden darkness is a singular skill. Sensing such evil is difficult unless you are familiar with it. Then, why hasn't Thanatos told the other council members about this yet? Then, surprising both of them, Rafame laughed. I liked the sound of his laughter, and before her own brain could clue her mouth in on being quiet, she smiled and said, You should laugh more. It's nice. How does she have the hots for Birdman? Hang here. I'll be right back to you. I'd prefer to come with you, he said, standing carefully while he held his arm against his side. It would probably be easier on you if you just stayed here, she said. Yes, but I'd prefer to be with you, he said quietly. That escalated quickly, didn't it? She fixes his arm and wing and goes home. Also, it is crazy that she gets to siphon his immortal power whilst he is messed up and he can't heal properly himself. Like, that is ridiculous, don't you think? She turned to go when he said, You should talk to your mother. You said she believes you are dead. He trailed off, seeming as confused as if he were trying to decipher an unfamiliar language. I just thought you should tell her you live. She would want to know, wouldn't she? Why hasn't she? Also, vampire Twitter is a thing, so are the red fledglings even being talked about online? As she parked at the house at night and got out of Zoe's car, she admitted to herself that it wasn't really his caring that freaked her out. It was how his concern made her feel. She'd been glad he cared, and Stevie Ray knew it was dangerous to be glad that a monster cared about her. Bro, she does not consider Rafame a monster. She spent, part of last book arguing for the Raving Mockers, so you can't trick me. I know how to read. There you are. It's about time you got back. Dallas practically popped out of the bushes. What a freak.
You're a freak!
Stevie Ray goes back to speak to the professors who are arguing. Kelowna is not Erebus, Lenobia practically exploded. Just as we all know, Neferate is not the earthly incarnation of Nyx. This whole subject is ridiculous. Like, surely the council would know this as well. They've known Neferate for like 200 years. Surely they'll be like, bit strange that now suddenly she's actually Nyx. Hang on, Stevie Ray held up her hand to stop the tirade that was obviously getting ready to come at Cromitia. Did you say Aphrodite and Prophetess together? That is what the High Council has named her, Eric said dryly, even though most of us wouldn't call her that. Stevie Ray lifted her brows at him. Really? I would. Zoe would. Why is Stevie Ray trying to pretend that she is involved with Aphrodite? Also, like, Stevie Ray was so ready to be like, why would they do that? But because Eric was like, why would they do that? She has to be contrarian because she doesn't like her. Shut up. Stevie Ray looked from vampire to vampire. Y'all need to get your shit together. Here's a newsflash from the only high priestess you have left at this dang school. Zoe. Zoe isn't dead. And believe me, I know dead. I've been there, done that, and got the frickin' t-shirt. That is just embarrassing, mate. Speaking of the t-shirts, cop yourself some merch. I've still got the winter collection up at ayclothing.tmail.com. There is still a discount on like everything on the store. So check it out, ayclothing.tmail.com. Chapter 8, Aphrodite. Yes, I believe it is important to keep Erebus's body under close watch while his spirit is absent. Perhaps this is only a temporary state he has fallen into as a response to Zoe's attack on him, Neferate was saying to the High Council. It would be real easy for any of them to pray to Nyx to ask her if this is really Erebus. But no. Neferate is trying to frame the situation as Kelowna was protecting Zoe from Heath and thus killed him. Stevie Ray rings Aphrodite. The nerd herd is hysterical, but you kept your sense. Stevie Ray didn't say it like a question, but Aphrodite answered her anyway. Someone had to. Yet more proof that Zoe's friends are worse than useless except for Aphrodite. You need to check out his body using your super spidey otherworld senses. You're such a dork. There is no such thing as Spider-Man. He is a made-up comic book bullshit character, Aphrodite said. They're called graphic novels, not comic books. Don't be so dang judgmental. I do not have the time to argue with you about the benefits of graphic novels on people's imagination, Stevie Ray said. Stevie Ray is such a pygmy. Aphrodite can see the darkness that is trapping Kelowna, the type that Neferate can use. They work out that they should somehow get Stark's soul to the other world to protect Zoe and get her to come back. Please, dork. It's in the 101 handbook because it's meant to scare the crap out of, third formers like you. So that hot young fledglings stay away from sexy sons of Erebus warriors. The stupid thing was probably written by some dried up old hag of a high priestess who hadn't had sex in like 100 years. Aphrodite paused, thinking of Thanatos and her wise dark eyes. I might know someone who could at least point us in the right direction. Duh, told you. Duh. Chapter 9, Stark. Stark is mad at Neferate because she's being a big meanie. It finally registered with Stark what the bitch was saying. Ooh, language, calm down.
I actually do cuss a little.
Do you?
It isn't against our laws for a warrior to kill a human if he's in the service of the goddess. Where is the human god to help stand up for all these humans who are just being like routinely killed by the vampires? And yet we're meant to believe like the vampires are the ones that are being hunted by the humans. Where? Bitch, where? Suddenly, Aphrodite was right there in front of him. Stark knew she was Zoe's friend, but if Darius hadn't had a vice-like hold on him, he wouldn't have hesitated to knock her aside to get to Neferate. Swoon, what a gentleman. Also, Stark, throughout this book, thinks so many violent thoughts towards Aphrodite. I'm calling it sexism. Aphrodite convinces Stark to back off and then she yells at the council. Thanatos responded smoothly. What Aether is saying is that the layers of spirit that make Zoe who she is today, her past lives, her past experiences, her personality, have been stripped from her. I like how past lives are now canon, but no one else but Zoe is said to have had one. In our recorded history, there is no warrior who has recovered from attempting to follow his priestess's shattered spirit into the other world. All of them perished. Every warrior and every high priestess, Thanatos said. Stark felt a jolt of surprise. He hadn't even thought of that he had died too. With a detached sense of curiosity, he realised he didn't really mind the idea of dying. Not if he could fulfill his oath to Zoe.
Sam! Sam! Sam!
They want to take Zoe's body with them. Who are you, fledgling? Asked Dawntia. My name is Damien, and I'm one of Zoe's friends. He also has an affinity for air, Jack added. Yeah, because you're only worth speaking to if you have a special power, apparently. He is a fledgling. He should be seen and not heard in council meetings, Neferate snapped. I love how Neferate is just wasting her time arguing with these idiots when she could be off being a menace somewhere else. Anyway, Damien says, as Zoe's warrior, Stark can do what he wants with, Zoe's body, which is ominous. The council give in and Neferate leaves too. They take Zoe back to her suite. I mean, I don't give a shit about ancient history. Zoe isn't some stick-up-her-ass high priestess from back in the day. People who ignore history end up repeating it, Damien said. I didn't say I was ignoring it, gay boy. Anyway, they go over stuff about Kelowna being Nyx's former warrior, but we know all of this already. Thanatos joins them. To do battle in the other world, the warrior in you must die to give birth to the shaman. They are really just making this up book by book. I love it. Thanatos thinks that the previous warriors failed because they literally killed themselves to go to the other land instead of just spiritually killing themselves. They tell Thanatos everything about Nefre. Chapter 10. Stark. Thanatos starts blathering on about light and darkness. It's more than a simple belief that there is good and that it should fight the evil in the world. It's a personification of light and darkness at the most elemental level, as forces that are so absorbed with themselves that one cannot exist without the other, though they constantly try to consume one another. Thanatos sighed at the blank looks the kids were giving her. One of the earliest representations of light and darkness was of light being a massive black ball and darkness being an enormous white ball. I told you. Huh? Shouldn't the white be light and the black be darkness? Jack asked. Good imagination, Jack, you idiot. Basically, the bulls are yin and yang or something, because why not? Let's just have all of the cultures in one big homogenized soup. Seriously, twin, Shawnee nodded. Too much guy power when vamps are mostly about girl power. How? All of the warriors are men. Zoe's awfully close to light, Damien said softly. Close enough to get gored by darkness, Stark said. Especially if darkness has been sent to be sure she doesn't ever reach the light again. She's so special that even these ancient, archaic bulls have taken notice. If you want to find ancient and barbaric beliefs, you need to go to a place formed by an ancient and barbaric past. A place that is essentially cut off from today's civilization. The answer jolted through Stark. I have to go to the Isle. Exactly. What the hell are you two talking about? Aphrodite said. They speak of the place where the warriors were first trained by Skiatch. That'll do. Skiatch. Who is that? Damien asked. You can tell when they make it up, as there is no foreshadowing or mention of this stuff in prior books. People can say what they want about Harry Potter. You can, I'm not stopping you, but you cannot deny that Harry Potter actually accomplished foreshadowing rather well. Skiatch is a female warrior. Thankfully, we finally found one. Warriors aren't allowed onto the High Council, even though Skiatch is a woman. She wasn't allowed, so she doesn't get on with the other vampires. She withdrew to her isle and cast a barrier around it so no one can enter. And they decide to work out how to get there by going to the library and studying. Zoe. She's been in the other world for less than a day, right? So why, I wondered as I stared at a gaggle of dancing blue-winged butterflies, am I so restless and generally out of sorts, as Grandma would say? Grandma. I did miss her. Her absence was like a mild toothache. Sometimes the feeling went away, but I knew it was there, and it would come back, probably worse. She's been yapping like she's been there for years. It's most likely a timeless place. I understand that concept. But the text hasn't given us that impression, so I will not be that gracious. Zoe starts worrying that her arm looks funny, but Heath can't see anything wrong with it. Heath took my chin in his hand and made me look at him. Zoe, can't you feel it? This place, this grove, is good. Purely good. Babe, can't you feel your goddess in here? The tears that filled my eyes made him all blurry. No, I said softly as if I could barely form the words. I can't feel my goddess at all. Why is Zoe being punished like this? She actually didn't really do anything wrong in this one instance. Chapter 11, Stevie Ray. Skye? Really? Where is that? Ireland? Stevie Ray said. It's Scotland, not Ireland. Aphrodite said. Aren't they kind of the same thing? And don't say, it's not nice. How about if I say bite me? Is that enough? Just listen and try not to be so bumpkin. I swear you're a mutant, Aphrodite said. A bull is a male cow. Even my mum's schizophrenic Bichon Frise knows that. Focus, would you? This is important. You need to go ask the grass about an ancient and entirely too barbaric and therefore unattractive mythology or religion or some such that includes two bulls fighting, a white one and a black one, and a very guy-like violent upending struggle between good and evil. That is peak Aphrodite dialogue and I could barely get through it. Bulls, double Also, they really pull it out of their arse every book. Hey, Stark needs to go to the afterlife to rescue his shattered girlfriend's soul, so Stevie Ray meditates underground and asks the earth about some ancient bulls and if they can help. Like, in what other book would this just be a normal chain of events? Hey, be careful, Aphrodite said. See, you can be nice, Stevie Ray said. Before you go all strawberries and cream on me, answer this question. Who'd you imprint with after our R's broke? Stevie Ray's body went ice cold. No one. Which means someone totally inappropriate. Who is it? One of those red fledgling losers? Aphrodite. I said no one. How else could she possibly explain the imprint breaking them? So again, be careful. I'm getting weird vibes from you, and they're telling me you might be in trouble. I think you've just made up a big old story to cover up the whole lot of crazy you got going inside your head. Gaslight. Cramisha appears to give Stevie Ray a poem. The red one steps into the light, girded loins for her part in the apocalyptic fight. Girded what now? It's about her and Rafame being in love or some shit, I don't know. Ally with him, pay with your heart, though trust cannot be given unless the darkness you part. How about I pay him Monopoly money instead? Cramisha is suspicious of Stevie Ray, aren't we all? Yeah, so your poem might be talking about a fight with them, but also, and this is the part I wanted you to know, Aphrodite and I have started to learn about some ancient stuff. You know, really old. So old the vamps have even forgot about it. That's some old shit. I don't know why I found that funny. Stevie Ray also gives Cramisha a promotion from Poet Laureate to Prophetess, probably to keep her sweet so she doesn't tell Dallas that Stevie Ray has boy plural problems. She decides to do stuff, but Dallas appears and interrupts her. Oh well, that's nice, Dallas, but I'm fine by myself. Actually, it would really help if you grabbed a green candle and some matches for me from Nyx's temple and ran them back out here to me. Oh, and if you see some sweet grass in the temple, bring it here too, would you? Don't know where my mind's been, but conjuring earth is definitely easier with an earth candle, and I totally forgot one. Not to mention the sweet grass for drawing positive energy. She was surprised when Dallas didn't say K and jog away for the stuff. Instead, he just stood there. She's surprised that he didn't jump for joy at doing errands for her. He's not Jack. You can't treat him like that. Anyway, he thinks that she's sending him on errands and doesn't want him around because he's not a warrior and thus not good enough for her. Bro, you are too good for her, if anything. They fight and then she feels sorry for him, which is exactly the basis for every strong relationship, and she lets him come with her. How in the world did Zee deal with all this bullshit and stress? She didn't. The thought came unbidden to her mind. It shattered her. Oh please, 90% of her stress was self-inflicted. Chapter 12, Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray and Dallas go to find a nice tree. They'd fallen onto the grass, forming a perfect circle completely around the tree. Dallas hesitated at the edge of the circumference. I'm going to stay out here, okay? So it can really be like this is a circle cast, especially for you, and I haven't broken it, he said. Stevie Ray looked up at him. Dallas was a good guy. Yeah, too good for you. They have a snog. Hey, Dallas said, handing her the stuff. Good one. I just remembered something about sweetgrass. Aren't you supposed to use something else before you burn it? I was kind of good in spells and rituals class, and I swear there was more to it than just lighting the braid and waving it around. Stevie Ray screwed up her forehead, thinking. I don't know. Zoe talked about it because it's a Native American thing. I swear she said it draws positive energy. Okay. Well, I guess Z would know, Dallas said. Shrugging, Stevie Ray said, yeah, plus it is just grass that smells good. I mean, how bad could it be? This is so Disney Channel. Ah, shucks, what could possibly go wrong? So, because Zoe is sort of dead right now, of course the cast duo have to fill their circle casting quota somehow, so they're having Stevie Ray do it. Turning Diozil, or clockwise, just say clockwise then, you dick. She casts the circle and burns the sweetgrass. My friend Zoe Redbird said that sweetgrass draws positive energy, and I definitely need some energy tonight, especially since it's for Zoe that I'm asking your help. I know you remember her. She has an affinity for you, just like she does for all the elements. She's special, and not just because she's my BFF. Z's special because... So Stevie Ray paused, and then the words came to her. She's special because Zoe has a little bit of everything inside her. Yeah, including like 5 different men. Then we're just treated to this entire paragraph reminding us how special Zoe is. Nothing happens. So Stevie Ray calls the white bull to her circle, aka the evil one. I mean, even if the white one was good or she remembered to call the black one, right? It's very presumptuous to just call an ancient being to your circle. Nyx has spoiled these brats and made them entitled. Everything goes wrong now, of course, and the white bull actually shows up, probably because he can't believe Stevie Ray's audacity either. The bull's black eyes bored into hers. The voice that filled her head was deep and powerful and unimaginably malicious. You had the power to evoke me, vampire, and that amused me enough that I chose to answer your question. The warrior must look to his blood to discover the bridge to enter the Isle of Women. And then he must defeat himself to enter the arena. Only by acknowledging one before the other will he join his priestess. After he joins her, it is her choice and not his whether she returns. Okay, it's funny that this older than time being is clearly so bored, he thought he'd show up to a random vampire's ratchet circle, but then he chooses to answer her question. What a simp. Dallas can't see any of this, by the way, he just sees smoke. Stevie Ray is all, well, I don't understand, and the bull goes, tough shit, now give me your blood, which, how does it feel now, vampire? So she calls for Rafame. Chapter 13, Rafame. Rafame is being bugged by the same ghost for no reason. Then he feels that something is wrong and Stevie Ray is scared. He uses some type of ancient power and it heals his arm and wing, and then he demands the darkness to take him to Stevie Ray. He flies over to her and gets inside the smoky darkness circle thing. Stevie Ray stood in the middle of the circle, tendrils of sticky black threads wrapped around her legs. Wherever they touched her, they sliced her skin. Her jeans were ripped and hung onto her body only in shreds. Blood seeped from her torn flesh. As he watched, another tendril snaked out of the soupy darkness surrounding them and lashed, whip-like, around her waist, instantly drawing a weeping line of blood. Okay, Stephen King, I see you, Stevie K. The bull notices Refame and is all, what the hell do you want, bird boy? And he's all, give me Stevie Ray, she's mine. And then she's all like, no, just leave me here to die. True story. Imagine being an age-old bull and having to listen to this teenager rubbish. Refame is all, take my blood instead. Think carefully before you make such an offer, son of Kelowna. I will not kill her. It is a blood debt, not a life debt she owes me. I will return your vampire to you eventually when I am done tasting of her. Yeah, exactly. It's not even a big deal. He's not going to kill her. Allow it, fam. The bull is like, oh, fine, whatever. I don't even like Stevie Ray anyway, and feeds from Refame instead. Instead of running away, Stevie Ray channels like power from the earth. The bull is too busy jizzing over Refame's tasty immortal blood to take notice, and then Stevie Ray calls the black bull to the circle. For an instant, the black bull's gaze met Refame's, and the raven mocker gasped. He'd never seen such kindness in his life. He'd never even known such kindness could exist. This story really has some wild twists and turns, doesn't it? The black bull crashes into the white one and they disappear. Refame flies off. Chapter 14, Stevie Ray. Dallas carries her back to the school and to the infirmary. Dallas actually did catch sight of Refame and he thinks that Refame did this to Stevie Ray. No, and that's why I've been trying to get through Dallas's thick skull. Darkness attacked me and a raven mucker. And like I said, you're not making no damn sense. I saw that bird thing, I saw your blood. These definitely look like slash rooms from that beak of his. I didn't see anything else, Dallas practically shouted. You didn't see anything because darkness was covering everything inside the circle, including me and the raven mucker while it attacked both of us, Stevie Ray yelled her frustration. Why does it sound like you keep standing up for that thing? Dallas said, throwing up his hands. This is annoying and forced because it would take 2 seconds for her to explain about the big ancient bull. Dallas gets kicked out for being annoying and they tried to treat Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray refocused on her external world to find the horse mistress studying her carefully. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling better and I need a phone. Cramisha, let me borrow. I'm cleaning these wounds first and I promise you that you're not going to be able to chat on the phone while I do that, Sapphire said with what Stevie Ray thought was too much smug satisfaction. Why can't Denobia shut Sapphire up while Stevie Ray tries to save the most special fledgling of all time? It cannot wait, Sapphire snapped. Your wounds are severe. You have lacerations from your ankles to your waist. They need to be cleansed. Many of them need stitches. You need to drink more blood. Actually, it would be preferable if we brought in one of the human volunteers for you to feed from directly. That would help in the healing process. Humans? Volunteers? Stevie Ray gulped. Stuff like that went on at the house at night? Why on earth would a human volunteer for this if not to get their rocks off to the pleasure aspect? Perverts. They all notice her blood smells weird because of her Refame imprint, so she explains what happened, finally. She lies her way out of suspicion and rings Aphrodite to tell her what happened. Without another word, Cramisha walked over to where she dropped her purse, dug out her cell phone and gave it to Stevie Ray. Aphrodite's listed under the B's. Why though, when Aphrodite's last name is Lafon? Is she calling Aphrodite a bitch? Because I swear Cramisha don't even mind her much. Say something to prove you're really you. You called me a last time we talked, more than once, and said I was ass which is not even a word. I'm still telling you that's not nice. Any excuse to say those words, huh? Also, the black bull made Stevie Ray sacrifice something, but whatever. Who cares? Drink one more of these. Sapphire gave Stevie Ray another bag of blood. Then sleep. Both of you need to leave and let her rest. The vampire nurse swept the bloody alcohol cotton balls into a trash bag, snapped off her latex gloves, went to the doorway and stood, tapping her foot and giving Lenobia and Cramisha the stank eye. You know, despite Sapphire being one of the vampires who blindly supports Neferre and Kelowna, she's still doing her job, so that's like gotta be something. Stevie Ray would never ever forget what he'd looked like when he'd confronted darkness for her. He'd been so strong and brave and good. It didn't matter that Dallas and Lenobia and the whole dang world believed he was on the side of darkness. What are you talking about? It literally never matters that the world thinks these guys are bad as long as there's a girl around to change them. She goes to sleep. Chapter 15, Stark. As Stark awoke, just for a second he didn't remember. All he knew was that Zoe was there in bed beside him. He smiled sleepily and turned, reaching an arm out to pull her close to him. The chilled, lifeless feel of her unresponsive flesh brought him fully awake, and reality crashed and burned the last of his dreams. Why is bro sleeping next to her almost dead body? Hey, you gotta snap out of it. You said it yourself. Zoe's not here. So stop gawking at her like you're a little lost puppy. I love her. Do you even know what that means? Aphrodite stopped and turned to face him. Love doesn't have shit to do with it. You're her warrior. That means more than I heart Zoe. She is right, but also he has known her. for 2 weeks. Now, are you coming or not? She flipped her hair, turned her back to him and started twitching down the hall. I never know what the cast do I mean by this. Like, of course it's meant to be some kind of like sexy thing, but I just imagine she's twitching from being electric shocked or something. Stark let out a long breath and a loud sigh to keep from laughing. Sometimes he almost liked Aphrodite. Not that he'd ever admit it. Why not? She needs someone to be nice to her for once, please. They go to the library where the whole gang is. Check it out. This is a copy of a painting of the Greek high priestess named Cali whatever. It says she was also the poet laureate after Sappho. Doesn't she look exactly like Cher? Wow, that's insane. She does look just like young Cher, Erin said. Yeah, before she started wearing those white wigs. What the hell's up with that? Shawnee said. Damien gave the twins a look. There's nothing wrong with Cher. Absolutely nothing. Uh-oh, Shawnee said. Stepped on a gay nerve, Erin agreed. I had a Cher Barbie doll. I love that doll. This is truly thrilling stuff. Thanks, guys. They keep yapping about Barbies for several pages. Aphrodite looked smug. And how about a bold Britney Spears doll that had extras like an umbrella, a fat suit, weird wigs, and of course, optional panties? That is very sensitively handled and has not at all aged badly. Has it? Ew, Jack said and then giggled. Yeah, and a Paris Hilton doll that had an optional brain. Aphrodite raised her brow at him. Don't go all crazy. There are some things even Paris Hilton can't buy. Well, she was playing a character for decades, so who needs a brain now? Anyway, Stark yells at them all to shut up, thankfully. Basically, if Zoe doesn't unshatter her soul, she's going to become a chaonic she and will never rest. She took up the story. Then the warriors died, each of them. Failing to protect their high priestess killed them, Stark said, his voice completely expressionless. No, turning their back on life killed them, Darius corrected. Stark turned to him. Wouldn't you? If Aphrodite died because you couldn't protect her, wouldn't you choose death rather than live life without her? My guy, you have known Zoe for 2 weeks and you're not even her main boyfriend. Like, he is literally the side chick compared to Heath. Aphrodite tells them what the White Bull said. Stevie Ray has some mad earth skills, Jack said. How'd you do, fellow kids? Oh, pull out that chart we made, Jack said, peeking over Damien's shoulder as he flipped through the notes he'd made. Some of this stuff gets confusing and visual aids always help. Good idea. Here it is. Damien ripped out a piece of paper from the yellow legal pad he'd almost filled with notes. At the top of it, he'd drawn a big open umbrella. On one side of the umbrella, he'd written light, on the other side, darkness. The umbrella of light and darkness is a good image. What is this, GCSER? It shows that the two forces are all-encompassing. That was my idea, Jack said, turning a little pink. Damien smiled at him. Well done, you. Praised for the bare minimum. Also, yin and yang would be a better metaphor because they oppose, but also they have a little bit of each other in each other to symbolize them needing one another. But I don't know, I guess it was like copyrighted or something. So under the force of light, I've listed good, the Black Bull, Nyx, Zoe and us. He paused and everyone nodded. And under darkness, I have evil, the White Bull, Nefre, Sigilli, Kelowna and Raven Mockers. I see you have Giach in the middle, Sphanatos said. Yeah, along with onion rings, hostess ding-dongs and my name, Aphrodite said. Just what the hell does that mean? I don't know, that is kind of funny. Well, ding-dongs are chocolate, but they have cream in the middle. Isn't that dairy and healthy? Since when is dairy healthy? Do we still believe that in 2024? Do we still believe that? Okay. We added your name, Erin said. Yeah, because we think you're like Rachel and Glee, Shawnee said. Super annoying, but she asked me in the show because sometimes she comes up with good stuff and kind of sort of saves the day. Aphrodite saves the day every single time. They'd either be dead or enslaved by Kelowna by now if it wasn't for her. Anyway, it turns out that Stark is Scottish, but like American Scottish. So, you know, probably like 1/18 Scottish, aka... She's Scottish. Anyway, this is good enough for the book because his granddad is McCaulus and the clan McCaulus were the Guardians of the Ace who are the Guardians of the Giach, aka this is Stark's blood bridge to the Isle of Women. Are you all keeping up? Chapter 16. There's going to be a quiz afterwards. Zoe. Heath stirred and muttered something about skipping football practice and sleeping in. I watched him and held my breath as I paced my circle around where he slept. I mean, would you want to wake him up and tell him he was as dead as dirt and wouldn't ever be playing football again? I am pretty sure they have football in the afterlife, Zoe. It is heaven, after all. Also, didn't those two quarterbacks from Broken Arrow die in the previous books? He can play football with them. The melodrama doesn't work at all. 0 stakes. Suddenly my feet were bare and I was distracted by sinking my feet into the moss and letting my toes play in the living carpet of green. Go die again. Living? I sighed. Nope. I suspected nothing here was really alive, but I kept forgetting that. It depends what you mean by living and it depends what you mean by alive. Jordan Peterson moment. Does alive just mean electrical current running through a heart to make it beat? No, because you don't consider brain dead people truly alive anymore, do you? Does alive just mean consciousness and awareness? Or if so, is Zoe not conscious? That's debatable, but is she not conscious and aware right now? And what about energy? Clearly some type of energy is keeping this place visible, alive, basically. This afterlife is just as alive as the before life was. Zoe is an idiot who knows nothing and has no critical thought. Stay dead. Zoe keeps seeing the darkness.
I'm gonna leave a thing called love. Just there's a chance we can make love.
Heath was sound asleep. But why? Is his body expending energy and thus he needs to recuperate, or is he sleeping out of habit? Because if it's the former, what type of afterlife is this anyway if your body needs to rest? Like, it's still a physical experience then, isn't it? So it's not real afterlife, is it? It's just Earth, but with extra steps. You know, I don't think the cast duo thought about this as much as I do. Zoe's memory is messed up and she can't remember what's going on because she's fading away slowly. How could I have let Kelowna fool me so totally? I'd been such an idiot. Oh, yes. And I'd caused Heath's death. Kelowna caused Heath's death by, you know, killing him. Though if you want to be really mean, I would say it's Nyx's fault, as Nyx clearly had Heath bumped off to show Zoe that Kelowna is evil. Zoe meets Aya, aka the reincarnated dirt doll woman, and they argue about Zoe losing compassion without Aya. You haven't stopped to think of what Heath might want, what anyone besides you might want, and you won't, not really, not until you call me back to you. Zoe doesn't think of what anyone else wants ever. With or without Aya. I don't want you back. It's because of you that this has happened. No, Zoe, it's not. All of this happened because of a series of choices made by a number of people. This isn't all about you. Someone finally tells Zoe that not everything is about her, and then Aya disappears in a huff. So then Zoe sees 9-year-old Zoe. We got boobies, the kid said to me, gawking at my chest. I'm really glad we got boobies. Finally. Yep, that does sound like Zoe. I kind of wish they were bigger. Roasted by herself. Hee-hees. She literally has not changed. That's not character development if she's the same as a 9-year-old. Becky Renee Apple. Can you believe her mum named her that and then had all of her sweaters monogrammed with bra? The kid me said, and then broke into giggles. She's always been a secret bully. Also, like, what parent would do that? No parent would do that. None of them would be like, here's your initials. Bra. Come on. The kid represents Zoe's joy, and without joy, Zoe can't ever be happy again. There's a third person who looks nothing like Zoe called Bridget, and this is Zoe's strength. It's like a pound shop Avengers. I tried to focus through the headache that was building in my temples. How? How is she feeling? Like, if she's just spirit, how is she feeling pain? There shouldn't be. You need a brain to have. Well, how does she feel pain anyway? Because she doesn't have a brain. Not the point. Not important. But I'd be drifting with Heath. Yes, you might be. And if I get all of you back together inside me, I'll leave Heath. Yes, you might. I can't do that. I can't return to a world without him, I said. Then you are truly broken. So mean. I like how everyone's dogging on Zoe for feeling the normal human emotion of grief that she saw her boyfriend of like 10 years get murdered in front of her. My legs gave out and I sat down hard on the moss. I only knew I was crying when the tears started making wet marks on my jeans. Also, what is this rubbish and common trope in fiction of people not realizing... No. Also, what is this rubbish and common trope in fiction of people only realizing they're crying from their face getting wet or some such nonsense? Like, there's no way you can't not know if you're crying. It's never happened to me ever. Like, your eyes blur. Of course you know you're crying. Huh? They head further into the grove. Don't any of you contradict me in the comments or I'll block you. They head further into the grove away from Kelowna. Stevie Ray. Dragon is yelling that he doesn't want her to leave in case the Raven Mocker who killed his mate, aka Refame, goes after her. Refame had saved her life twice. It was also a fact that he had killed Anastasia Langford. He's changed. He's different now, she thought. Your Honour, my client should walk free because even though he did do those murders, he's changed. He's different now. Source, trust me. Stevie Ray is all, I don't know who that Raven Mocker was anyway. I think he was the head one, the ref whatever. Dallas spoke up, even though Stevie Ray shot him a look. Refame, Dragon said with a voice like death. Yeah, that's it. He was huge, just like you guys described. His eyes were human looking. Shut up, like as if. Plus, he had a thing about him. It was obvious he thought he was the shit. There is absolutely zero way that Dallas could know any of this, considering he saw Refame for all of 3 seconds before being tripped up by Stevie Ray making the earth trip him up. Like, it's so annoying. It's just ridiculous. Like, shut up. It's not believable. The cat, like, there's no way that they can tell one Raven Mocker from the other. Bullshit. The council are all being annoying, as if Stevie Ray isn't more powerful and plot armored than any of them put together. Stevie Ray wants to go see Grandma Redbird to tell her about Zoe, and they don't want her to go. They all agree on some crap. Dallas tells Stevie Ray that they don't have to be together anymore. I mean, we were going out. You were my girlfriend. Since when? You were right. I couldn't do shit to protect you from that bird thing, and I just want you to know that I'm not going to turn into an arsehole about you and me. I'll still be here for you when you need me, girl, because you're always going to be my high priestess. He's going to become an evil electric man. Mark my words. I don't want to break up, she blurted. Oh my god, put him out of his misery, please. I was going to say, what's with all of these teens beating a dead horse and never knowing to just like leave a relationship when it's done and dusted and dead? But then I remembered I was the exact same at 16. So they have a snog and make up. Then Stevie Ray leaves with Cramisha to go see Grandma Redbird. Chapter 17, Stevie Ray. Cramisha has more bloody poetry for Stevie Ray. It's basically from Kelowna to Zoe to say, even shattered, anything is possible if you believe we shall both be free. So again, I guess it's fine that Kelowna is a serial killer and rapist because he's changed. I swear, I promise, Your Honour. Yeah, I agree. So what we need to do is get the poem to Aphrodite. She's hateful and all, but she'll understand how important it is. And because she's so hateful, there's no way she'll let Stark ignore her or the poem. Aphrodite, once again, saving the day. You know, I seriously question her amount of good sense because she don't like poetry. I don't like poetry either, because subtext is for cowards. Stevie Ray sees Grandma and tells her everything. So Grandma tells her to tell Stark to burn cedar needles to help him get to the other world. Sister, where are you going? Grandma Redbird asked. To call the abbey to the chapel. We will pray. We will all pray. To Mary? Stevie Ray asked, unable to keep the skepticism out of her voice. She is so rude, considering if anyone prays to Nyx, they will just get what they want, apparently. And the sister is just trying to help Zoe, but according to her own beliefs. Stevie acts like an atheist, and it is absurd considering the extra context of the entire world build. Stevie Ray says sorry for being a judgmental little bitch, but not in those words. Stevie wants to get away to see Refame, but can't, do that, obviously. So she lies to Cramisha and says that it's to... I wish you guys could see my typing, because the keyboard's absolutely trash. Like, this computer's I can't understand. I do not know what I said. Says it's to Swee. Says it's to see the guy she needs to dump for Dallas. He ain't abusing you, is he? Because that's some wrong shit. Wow, oh my god, so true, bestie. Anyway, she goes to see Refame. Chapter 18, Refame. Stevie Ray gets to Refame. I'm not as hurt as you because you swooped in like Batman and saved the day before that dang nasty ball could mess me up too much. Then I got a shot in the arm from Light, which was totally cool, by the way. And that immortal blood of yours is like the Energizer bunny inside me. That is a whole lot of rubbish, but also she's flirting with him. She kept her supporting hold on him while the room pitched and rolled around him, and he thought for one terrible moment that he was going to collapse like a fainting girl. Pfft. You know, I'm reading Eragon. Well, I'm reading Eldest, and I swear he faints every other chapter. Thank you very much. She was still holding his hands. She doesn't shrink away from me in disgust. She hasn't from the first day. God, he sounds like Edward Cullen. I'm currently doing Midnight Sun. You're all welcome. It's taking forever. Stevie Ray still won't tell us what the Black Ball demanded from her as payment, and we all know it's going to be stupid. Stevie Ray takes him outside to a tree. She closed her eyes as if the words had hurt her, and he had to force himself to remain still and not reach out to comfort her, to touch her. Touch her? I want to touch her? He crossed his arms over his chest in a physical denial of the shocking thought. And they keep sort of like flirting, kind of. Stevie Ray uses the power of Earth to help heal Refame. Don't know how. Stevie Ray remembers Refame's wing is healed and then gets upset for some reason. Stevie Ray flinched away from him. Refame's hand dropped instantly to his side and he took a step away from her. They stared at each other. I gotta go, she repeated.
I have to go. I should go. I'm actually gonna go. I should go. Look, B, I gotta go.
Will you return? I have to, I promised. She yelled the words at him, and he felt them as if she'd slapped him. Nice mood swing, dipshit. Who are you? Edward Cullen? He's like, only come if you want to, and she storms off. So Refame flies off, and I don't even blame him. Chapter 19, Stark. Stark is in a helicopter. The pilot's voice came through the headsets to all of them. I'm putting it down now. Remember, all I can do is let you out. The rest is up to you. Just know that if you step one foot on the island itself without Gyatch's permission, you will die. I got that the first dozen times you assholes said it, Stark muttered, not caring that the pilot gave him a dark look over her shoulder. Well, I guess she doesn't want to be sued in case you do die, you massive idiot. Aphrodite and Darius and Zoe's body are with him. Are you two coming, or are you going to run screaming like girls away from here? Remember in the previous book when he said that his book he was reading wasn't for chicks? Guys, I think Stark is a misogynist. Oh wait, remember he tried to assault someone? Yeah, I definitely think he's a misogynist. They get to an archway and a disembodied voice appears. I need to see Skiatch. It's a matter of life or death, Stark said. Skiatch is ne'er concerned. No, I'm not doing that. With Who's Wayne? Even if it be a matter of life or death. That's awful. Is ne'er concerned with who's Wayne. Anyway, it's not realistic because a true Scot would tell them to piss off and call them a see you next Tuesday. Zoe's not like the other fledglings. Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. Her soul was shattered 2 days ago when fighting a fallen immortal. When that happened, her tattoos disappeared. Then it's died. She would be. I'm so sorry, all of Scotland. The vampire raised one hand in a dismissive gesture and began to turn away. Love him though. Are you stupid or a fucking fool, man? You have no permission to enter. He's both, thank you. Stark is all, but my blood, wow, I'm Scottish, really, I promise. See, here's my 23andMe. See, I'm like 1/16 Scottish. I'd be all like, okay, what do you call a bread roll then? Let's see how Scottish this American really is. By the way, they're called bread rolls. What's a barn? What's a bap? What's a piece? Huh? The Skiatch woman appears. Stark was struggling against shouting at the two of them. Typical Yanks in Europe always being loud in public. Tana Mojo moment. You are? What is that? You barely out your nappies, boy. You barely out. Anyway, they keep rinsing him and I respect it. Stark's like, but Zoe is my queen. Help me keep my queen alive, please. And somehow that fixes things and Skiatch lets him on the aisle. Sioris, the bloke, is like, that's a human female. So, of course, Aphrodite has to explain to herself yet again. These vampires are all like super rude to humans, aren't they? No wonder humans rebel against them and have their weird little religious groups. Because, like, this superhuman species that dominates the arts, has like all the money, hates the humans, feeds from the... No wonder the humans supposedly aren't keen on them. And they keep killing them. The vampires, we're told, oh, well, the humans like kill the vampires, whatever, but we've seen throughout this book series, the vampires killing the humans. So now I'm the goddess's prophetess, and I'm hoping that along with all the stress and eye aches it gives me, this prophetess stuff means I age gracefully like your queen. Aphrodite paused to bow her head to Skiatch, whose brows went up, but who didn't strike her dead like Stark thought she deserved. I hope Stark dies and never comes back. Skiatch lets them through too because she finds Aphrodite interesting. Finally, someone else with sense. Chapter 20, Stark. Skiatch's affinity is with the island itself, so she can teleport and do what she likes. There's a sacred grove on the island. There's also loads of stakes with heads mounted on them. There's some boring stuff about Zoe being a fallen queen, like, oh, her ego's gonna get so big. The inside of the castle was gorgeous. The floor was smooth white marble veined in silver. All of these vampires are Tories, every last one of them. To Stark's complete irritation, Aphrodite quickened her step until she was almost even with him and asked, so, Sioris, what exactly did you mean when you called what Stark has to do with a quest? Sioris didn't so much glance over his shoulder at her when he said, I did nae stutter, woman. I named this task a quest, and that it is. Aphrodite snorted. Shut up, Stark whispered to her. What did she even do wrong? She's asking for more details, you fucking idiot, man. With the sound of a lover's sigh, the door opened by themselves. Why would the doors make that sound? Stark accidentally almost gets caught in sunlight, but Aphrodite explains that he could die because she's really the MVP. Stark's eyes instantly adapted to the darkness that blanketed the room, so even before more warriors lit wall torches and tree-sized candelabra, he clearly saw Sioris stride up the day's steps and take the place to the left of his queen's throne. He stood there with a confidence that was almost tangible. Stark knew without any doubt that nothing in this world, perhaps not even the next, could get past Sioris to harm his queen, and for that instant Stark felt a terrible wave of envy. I want that. I want Zoe back so that I can be sure nothing ever hurts her again. Skiatch lifted her hand and caresses her warrior's forearm briefly but intimately. The queen didn't look up at Sioris, but Stark did. He was gazing down at her with an expression Stark understood completely. He's not just a guardian, he's the guardian. And he loves her. Warrior and queen, who have known each other for centuries, versus two teenage brats who have known each other for 2 weeks. I just saw on Instagram that the UK is looking at possibly introducing compulsory army service. Let me see. Yeah, compulsory army service. And someone said, would rather die fighting our own government. I agree. Watch me join the enemy. No, but also, like, good luck. Do you know how many of us have depression or ADHD or what the hell ever? Like, or have anxiety, what are they going to do? Like, force us to join the army and give us guns? Are you dumb? Are you mad? Like, good luck. Anyway, as I said previously, I really like this Pedro Pascal top. If anyone of you know him, can you like send this to him? No, because I look crazy. But I really want to write a screenplay where like it's just about me and Pedro Pascal, but we're hanging out. But I also kind of want to do the same with Keanu Reeves. So anyway, they keep calling Zoe a young queen, which is going to do nothing to help her ego. I'm sure the High Council, as well as the vampires at your House of Night, have explained to you that a shattered soul is a death sentence for the High Priestess, and quite often for her warrior as well. Why do you believe coming here will change that certainty? Gyatch said. Because, like I said before, Zoe's not just a High Priestess. She's different. She's more. So already High Priestesses are more special than regular vampires, but of course Zoe is just even more special than that. So you're willing to die for her? The warrior didn't speak as a question, but Stark nodded anyway. Yes, I would die for her. What a sad little life, Stark. Gyatch looked up at her warrior. The bull has given him passage to the other world. Why is the white bull helping them? He just loves drama, I guess. They tell him that he has to become a shaman. There is only one warrior I've ever known who also became a shaman. To convey her meaning, Gyatch rested her hand on Seoris's forearm. Of course, Stark is going to survive it and become the second, warrior come shaman ever because he's a Gary Stu. Anyway, the warrior has to die to give birth to the shaman. What even is this series about anymore? Chapter 21, Stevie Ray. She gets back to the school and Lenobia says on the news that 4 people were killed and drained of the blood. An eyewitness saw it was a gang of teens with red eyes. They are all very calm about the casual murder, but what else do we expect?
Yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but inevitable?
You haven't told the High Council about the red fledglings, have you? I wouldn't do that without discussing with you first. You are their High Priestess, but you must understand that their actions have taken them beyond where they can be ignored by the rest of us. I know, but I still want to deal with them myself. So, Aphrodite supposedly hides some visions and then has to lose absolutely everything dear to her to redeem herself. Meanwhile, red fledglings are murdering people and Stevie Ray is like, instead of getting the higher authorities involved to apprehend or destroy them, I'll just deal with it myself, even though they almost killed me the first time round. It's pathetic. No, I'm not going alone. I do plan on giving them an ultimatum. Shape up or ship out. They were past the point of shaping up after the first 10 murders, you idiot. Hate Stevie Ray. Oh my goodness, that's it. I couldn't have known it before when I met the Bulls, but now I understand. Lenobia, whatever it is that gets a hold of us after we die and then undie and we're all evil and filled with bloodlust and stuff, it's part of darkness. That means it isn't a new thing. It has to be as ancient as the warrior bull religion. Nefre is behind what happened to me and the rest of the kids. She met the horse mistress's gaze and saw the fear she was feeling reflected back there. She's involved with darkness. There's no doubt about it now. Is she dumb? Of course Nefre is allied with darkness. Good God, Stevie Ray was smarter when she was dead. And if they say no, I'll make sure they can't use the depot tunnels as the cushy hideout anymore. And I'll make sure they're all separated. As individuals, I still don't believe they're all bad. What would it take for Stevie Ray to think that the fledglings are evil? Because murder sure isn't cutting it. Stevie Ray hesitated, then added, I don't want to kill them. I feel like if I do, I'll be given in to evil. Bro, the many victims' families and friends standing around looking gormless while Stevie Ray explains that if she killed the supernaturally super strong above the law serial killers, she would be just as bad as them. Like in The Walking Dead when Rick and Negan fight each other and Rick has the upper hand and then he's saying to the victims of all the people that Negan's teams has killed that no, but if we kill them now, we're just as bad. Do you know what I mean? It's same, I love Negan, but same vibe. Stevie Ray nodded and Lenobia jogged away, leaving her alone and headed towards the dorms, alone and able to think. She should be thinking about what the heck she was going to say to the stupid Nicole and her group of killer fledglings, but she couldn't get Refame out of her mind. Humans are being murdered violently because of Stevie Ray's inaction, and all she can think about is boys. She's basically become Zoe. Stevie Ray is conflicted because she started to become attracted to Refame. Okay, Refame was healed and all, so has she really thought he'd be broken forever? No, I don't want him to be broken. The thought came quick and honest, but it wasn't just that he was well. It was that darkness had healed him, had made him look. Stevie Ray's thoughts trailed off because she didn't want to go there. She didn't want to admit, even silently to herself, how Refame had looked to her standing there, framed by the moonlight, powerful and whole. Nervously, she twirled a blonde curl. And anyway, they were imprinted. He was supposed to look a certain way to her, but Aphrodite hadn't affected her like Refame had started to. Stevie Ray had liked the way Refame looked. He'd been strong and beautiful, and just for a moment she glimpsed beauty inside the beast. He hadn't been a monster. He'd been magnificent, and he'd been hers. Bird keepers, lock up your ravens. Stevie Ray is on the prowl. She staggered to a halt. It was because of that dang black bull. It had to be. Before he totally materialized, he'd asked Stevie Ray, I can chase away darkness, but if I do so, you will owe a debt to light, and that debt is that you will be forever tied to the humanity inside that creature over there, the one you called me to save. Is this slavery? But she started to fancy him before all of that anyway. Them bad kids killed those folks at the Tribune Lofts, didn't they? Cramisha said. Yeah, Stevie Ray said. I think so. That's bad, Cramisha said. Real bad. No shit, Cramisha. Thanks. You can't let them kill people like that, Dallas said. They're not even street people. Stevie Ray blew out a long breath. Dallas, how many times do I have to tell y'all that it doesn't matter if someone's a street person or not? It's not right to kill anyone. How egalitarian of you. Stevie Ray put it out of her mind. As she studied Dallas, she wondered if it was different for him, for the rest of the kids who hadn't changed yet, because Dallas did seem to make little slips like he had just kinda often. Wow, is this foreshadowing? There's some more with the power of friendship crap, and then they go to the tunnels, but Dallas and Stevie Ray smooch some more. Stevie Ray giggled, weirdly lightheaded, especially as the thought, get real, you can't even kiss the other one, whispered through her mind. This book is so weird. Stevie Ray remembers the rogue red fledglings know about Rafame, so she starts panicking. With a bolt of realization that almost had her gasping out loud, Stevie Ray knew the answer to her problems. Her fledglings wouldn't believe she'd imprinted with a raven mocker. Ever. She would simply deny it. There wasn't any proof. Yeah, her blood might smell weird, but she'd already explained that. Darkness had fed from her. That was bound to make her smell weird. Cramisha believed it, so did Lenobia. The rest of the kids would. But don't worry, she realizes that she can gaslight gatekeep girl boss her way out of it. But the rogue fledglings don't even know that she imprinted anyway because it happened after the roof incident. So why is she worrying so much? They get to the tunnels and Dallas realizes that he can hear the electricity. But electricity ain't from the goddess. How can it be an affinity gift? Cramisha said, sending Dallas suspicious looks. Why can't it be from Nick? Stevie Ray said. Sure, at this point, why not? There's probably a fledgling with an affinity for plastic too. Chapter 22, Stevie Ray. They are grumpy about the rogue fledglings ruining the depot home. Pier 1 and Pottery Barn still have Aphrodite's gold card on file, Cramisha told Venus. Saves the day yet again and not even a solitary thank you. I just broke my nail. You see that? Pathetic. Anyway, the bad fledglings are there being schoolyard bullies, seconds away from clicking their fingers and getting into a street dance battle. She looked thinner, harder than Stevie Ray remembered her looking. Star and Curtis stood a little way behind her, and behind them, at least a dozen red-eyed fledglings gathered, glaring at them maliciously. A dozen? Why are there so many? Like, they all must have killed, collectively, so many humans. How about you choose to take your pussy asses back to the house tonight with the rest of them spineless people who call themselves vampires, Nicole said. Well hard, mate. Oh my god, I'm shaking. Hey, Nicole. Like Venus said before, you'd be looking kind of rough. How you feeling? Cramisha suddenly said. Then she raised her voice, talking to the kids over Nicole's shoulder. How many of you been coughing and feeling like crap? Ain't no vampire been around y'all for a while now, right? Oh my goodness. I don't know how I could have forgotten about that, Stevie Ray said. They're gonna die of the plague anyway, so who cares? Nicole tells them Stevie Ray saved a raven mocker and none of them believe her. Also, the rogue ones pull out guns, but Stevie Ray protects them with earth power and makes a barrier, and the bullets ricochet off the barrier back into the rogue fledglings and they die. Who a bunch of idiots. No, you've done enough. Acting on an instinct totally allied to the earth, Stevie Ray clapped her glowing hands together in front of her. With a tearing sound, a raw gaping hole opened in the far end of the kitchen, where before there had only been the curving side of the tunnel. You need to leave here and never come back. She still refuses to do anything substantial, but the rogue fledglings are going to die and reject the red change anyway without a vampire being around, so who cares? 5 of the rogue fledglings died from the bullets ricocheting, and I just got deja vu. I think Stevie Ray is going to cry and have sex with Dallas, but be stopped by Rafame. Let's see. Stevie Ray has the dead fledglings buried in the earth. Everyone leaves to do other things, and Stevie Ray cleans up the blood and cries, and then Dallas finds her. They start to have sex, and Dallas wants to drink from her, but she hesitates, thinking it will break her imprint with Rafame, who then shows up to yell at her. Chapter 23, Rafame. Why did she reject me? Hundreds of years old, and yet still has the same old high school drama as everyone else. Anyway, Rafame is all, where? Prince Harry moment. Basically, he just wants to be loved. And he'd never known laughter before he knew her. What a sad little existence, Rafame. He flies back to Tulsa, feeling Stevie Ray's sadness, and then feels her lust, so he tracks her to the depot. When he finally found her, the boy was atop her, rotting against Stevie Ray, oblivious to everything else in the world. So are they actually banging then, or what? I need to know for research. He interrupts. Dallas stops rutting. They start arguing. The darkness in the ceiling starts flipping out because there was darkness in the ceiling, FYI. Dallas realizes they actually do know each other, Stevie Ray and Refame, that is. Refame noticed the change in the boy's voice before Stevie Ray did. The fledgling's tone had hardened, gone cold and mean. The darkness above them quivered as if in gleeful anticipation. Yeah, okay, we do, but I can explain. See, you've been with him all along. Stevie Ray frowned. All along? No, it's just that I found him when he was real hurt. I didn't know what. All this time I've been treating you like you was some kind of queen or something, like you was a real high priestess, he interrupted Stevie Ray again. He does a 180, really quick. Her words didn't faze the boy. You've been keeping this thing a secret. You've been lying to everyone. Well, heck, Dallas, I didn't know what else to do. You lied to me, you whore! Why is every single man in this book one argument away from calling a woman a whore? Stevie Ray slaps him, fair enough, and then the darkness covers Dallas. Totally incensed, the fledgling screamed, He's made you a goddamn whore and a liar! You need some sense knocked into you, girl! Dallas lifted his hand like he was going to hit Stevie Ray. This is so crazy! Refame steps in the middle because, Stevie Ray, the most powerful red vampire, can't protect herself against some chump. Dallas uses the power of electricity to fry Refame like a chicken drumstick. So Stevie Ray uses Earth to protect Refame, and how is this book about vampires again? Yeah, he does. It's hard to explain, I get that you're pissed, but Refame belongs to me. Her eyes skirted Dallas and met his again. And I guess I belong to him, as weird as that sounds. It doesn't sound weird, it sounds sick. It grows on you after a while. Better than Zoe's boring storyline anyway. Before Refame could get to his feet, Dallas pointed a finger at her. There was a deafening crack and Stevie Ray was suddenly standing in the middle of a growing green circle. Her brow was furrowed and she shook her head slowly back and forth. You tried to shock me, Dallas? You really wanted to hurt me? You chose that thing over me, he screamed at her. Ah, the fragility of male ego. Woman chooses to save life? Electrocute her. Dallas collapses. Fried? Despite everything, she made him want to laugh. What does that even mean? This, Stevie Ray touched one of the feathers on his chest. He was surprised to see it that it looked singed. You're a little crispy around the edges. You touch it. You probably shag it too. Damn, I'm glad it stopped me before we even finished doing it. I ain't ever gonna be sloppy seconds to a freak. Dare I say that Stevie Ray is the one who missed a bullet here. Dallas completes his change into a red vampire and Stevie Ray traps him in the kitchen with earth power. Why didn't you just seal the other exit too? He asked as he followed her. The glance she gave him was visibly annoyed. What? And kill him? No. He's not really that bad, Refame. He just went nuts because darkness was messing with him and he found out about me and you. When is she ever going to learn? How many times must we teach you this lesson, old man?
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? I love the bird people.
Dallas gets out before them and steals Zoe's car and drives off, presumably to tell everyone about Refame and Stevie. Steven stays with Refame because she can't be asked to deal with it all, which, fair enough, real. They go to the place where Refame was. Stevie, you can tell they really ran out of steam. Stevie Ray rings Cramisha to tell her that Dallas lost his mind. Lol, gaslight. Refame protects her while she sleeps. Chapter 24. Stark. They're still arguing about what to do. They're still arguing. In this time, Stevie Ray has almost shagged someone and they're still arguing. There's a seat they can use to make the sacrifice and access the other world, which, considering Sioris is the only person who's ever done it successfully, and the island is closed off to absolutely everyone, why would they have this seat, actually? Bollocks. Sacrifice is okay with me, Stark said, brushing a hand across his brow wearily. Tell me what, or who... I'm getting angry. He shot a sideways glance at Aphrodite, not caring that it made Darius bristle. I need to grab and use for the sacrifice, and I'll do it. Absolutely not. Darius should have killed him on the spot. If he was really an oathbound warrior, he should have killed Stark there and then. The way none of them actually give a shit about Aphrodite's life is astounding. Zoe is either always trying to pimp her blood out without her permission, or Stark is actively thinking about her dying or killing her in some way. Stark should get killed. So what do I have to do? Find a virgin or something? He didn't look at Aphrodite then, because, well, she obviously didn't fit in that category. That judgment sure is rich, coming from a rapist. They get ready to bleed Stark. Hang on. Unbelievably, Aphrodite was pouring around in the abnormally large metallic leather bag she lugged all the way from Venice. Stark had seriously had it with her. Aphrodite, now is not the time. Had it how? She has done nothing but, help him. She pulled out a quart-sized baggie filled with brown twigs and needles and gestured at one of the warriors, standing around the perimeter of the room, snapping her fingers and looking more regal than Stark would ever admit out loud. So, he says he loves Zoe, but he sure does think of Aphrodite a lot. Why is he thinking of her as regal? Aphrodite says they need to burn cedar first. What the hell, Stark said, shaking his head at Aphrodite and wondering, not for the first time, if the girl really was mentally damaged. Bro, Zoe is Native American and this is her culture, so maybe be a bit more respectful to their customs. Cheers. The warrior she'd given the baggie to glanced at his queen. She shrugged and nodded, saying it cannot hurt. After a metal brazier had been lit and a few needles added, Aphrodite smiled, bowed her head slightly to Sororus and said, okay, now let's get this thing done. Stark bit back the words he wanted to yell at annoying Aphrodite. Annoying. For trying to keep him safe, whilst he was ready to murder her to get Zoe back. Murder a prophetess of Nyx by the... How has he not been killed by Nyx? Like, what? Like, he is a rapist and a murder... What? I want him to die. I want him to die so permanently, but I know he survives the series and I hate this. Thanks for nothing. Stark lies down on the marble. Wait, before you cut him, tell him something that will help. Don't just let his soul flail about moronically in the other world. You're a shaman, so shaman him, Aphrodite said. See, she's trying to help. Siora starts carving him up like a turkey on Christmas Day. Stark almost actually dies. This darkness wasn't so bad. At least the pain was going away. Actually, the pain seemed almost like a memory. Do not give up, moron. Zoe needs you. Aphrodite's voice? Goddess, it was irritating that even detached from his body, she could still bother him. Detached from my body. He'd done it. So again, it is up to Aphrodite to save this loser's life who wouldn't put her out if she was on fire. The black bull meets him and charges at him, so Stark grabs his horns and gets yeeted through space-time. He finds himself in a grove and finds a sword and then stares at himself. Like, actually, not a mirror, but it's arsehole Stark. Like, that, it's bad Stark. Except Stark is already low-key a massive arsehole, so I guess it's just even more of an arsehole Stark. Yeah, numbnuts, it's you, you're me. To get into this place, you're going to have to kill me, which is not going to happen because I'm not so cool with dying. What is going to happen is that I'm going to kick your ass and kill you dead. How intimidating. Chapter 25, Aphrodite. He already looks like a hamburger. Do you have to keep doing that? Aphrodite asked the Guardian. There was no love lost between her and Stark, but that didn't mean she was cool with watching him getting sliced to pieces. That is more consideration than Stark would give Aphrodite in a role reversal. Aphrodite keeps getting told off for daring to have a personality, and Gyatch tells her to go to her room and think about what she's done and how her visions can help Stark. Aphrodite turns to Darius. Do you think my mouth gets me into trouble? Her warrior's brows went up. Of course I do. She frowned at him. Okay, look, I'm not kidding. Neither am I. Why? Because I say what I mean? No, my beauty, because you do use your words like a dagger, and a drawn dagger often causes trouble. She snorted and sat on the huge four-poster bed. If I sound like a dagger, then why the hell do you like me? Darius sat beside her and took her hand. Have you forgotten that a throwing dagger is my favourite weapon? This is the most normal guy in the entire series. Aphrodite just asked Nick from Down Pub. Aphrodite asked Nyx if she can help, so of course Nyx immediately helps. Why don't they solve all of their problems this way? Aphrodite's spirit flew over Nyx's otherworld. It was almost indescribably lovely, with endless variations of green, brilliant flowers that swayed to distant music, and sparkling lakes. Aphrodite thought she caught sight of wild horses and the many-coloured flash of peacocks in flight. And all throughout the realm, spirits flickered in and out of view, dancing, laughing and loving. This is where we go when we die? Aphrodite asked, awestruck. Sometimes. What sometimes? You mean if we're good? Aphrodite had a sinking feeling that if being good was the criterion for getting to this place, she would probably never make it. Stevie Ray murdered and ate people, but you don't see her worrying about her sins. Aphrodite sees Zoe and Heath. Zoe being as useless as always, it's a vision, it's not reality. And in it, Zoe pulls herself back together but stays with Heath in the other world forever. But if she does that, Nephray ends up controlling the world, which, you know, good for her, to be honest, she's worked for it. Aphrodite also sees Stevie Ray and Raphame together, but then there's this beautiful Native American boy, aka Raphame, but he fights Ravenmocker Raphame, and oh my god, who cares? Then the white bull wins over the black bull. Really. All because of Zoe. This archaic, older than time black bull loses just because one brat decides to stay in the afterlife. Sure. Behave. Aphrodite comes to from the vision, tells Gyatch, and then they get Stark to momentarily wake up. Chapter 26, Stark. I'm part of you, the not so nice part. Or you're part of me, the good part. And I hate even saying that. Don't act so damn stupid. It's not like you don't know about me. Think back to before you pussied out and swore yourself to that goody-goody bitch. You can tell it's evil Stark because he's swearing a lot. Whilst fighting, he gets brought back to the living world for Aphrodite to tell him that Stark has to make Heath move on, otherwise Zoe won't come back. Then Stark is sent back. In less than a heartbeat, Sioris grabbed his head with a vice-like grip and dragged the blade across Stark's eyelids. That is lovely. It was as if the line of the last cut had revealed a geometry of strike lines into the heart of the other that Stark had never known before. Then he starts seeing geometric strike lines to attack evil Stark with, like he just took a bunch of DMT. I guess, in a way, he has. Stark self-deprecates himself into goading evil Stark on and then smashes him in the skull, but accepts him into his heart like our Lord Jesus H. Christ. But evil Stark stabs himself on Stark's sword and dies. Sioris then appears to give him a sword and is like, "Welp, you're going to be a guardian for eternity now. But you have to kill evil Stark, who already took his last breath like 5 pages ago." So, okay. Without thought, without emotion, he used the arc of a crescent moon to deal the killing blow, crashing the blade sickeningly into the other, slicing him cleanly from skull to crotch. Lovely. He's back in the goddess's grove and goes to find Heath. So, he'd had to find Heath and talk him into giving up the only girl he'd ever loved. Forever. It's hardly forever, dude. It's just until she dies properly and then they can be together again, duh. Don't worry though, he comes back later anyway. No one in this series stays truly dead for long. Chapter 27, Heath. Zoe was getting worse. It was just not fair. Like she hadn't had enough bullcrap to deal with lately. Heath's narration wouldn't say bullcrap, come on. Jeesh! It was totally weird to think that he was dead. This just sounds like Zoe. Kelowna is in the other world too, by the way, and he secretly tells Heath to get Zoe to stay with him forever. Heath kind of realizes it is Kelowna and still listens to him. The guy who killed him. What a doofus. Luckily, Stark stops him in secret. Before Heath could say anything, both guys saw Zoe, and Stark jumped back behind a tree, crouching in its shadows. Heath moved quickly to intercept her, blocking her view of Stark. "You didn't come after me. You always come after me." What a brat. Heath gets her to go for a run so he and Stark can talk about what to do. Heath realizes he has to move on without Zoe, even though he felt like he was going to Bath. Oh, it's nice city. Heath was glad his voice sounded calm and normal. "How are you going to get her to pull herself together after I go? Can't you tell her you're staying, get her together and then go?" Stark has the emotional intelligence of a crisp packet. I hate him. Yeah, okay, I guess you're right. Stark ran his hand for his hair. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I will. I have to. If you're man enough to leave her, I'm man enough to figure out how to save her. Well, keep this in mind. Zoe doesn't like some dude saving her. Yeah, she just has Aphrodite save her instead. What do you want me to say to you, Heath? That I wish it didn't have to be this way? I do. Bro saw Heath murdered in the last book and literally said that he didn't really care. Liar! Heath does the whole "move on with your life, Zoe, blah blah blah" thing to her and says he needs to move on himself because he died too young and he wants another shot at life, that he'll find her again, yada yada, and then he moves on to the next realm and leaves her and she just does nothing because she's pathetic. He is the one that's died. She is like, "Where? What about me? Where?" But he's the one that's dead. Shut up. Chapter 28, Kelowna. Ironic that it had been love that darkness had used to bring him down. Still more ironic that, after he'd fallen, light had also used love to entrap him. He wondered briefly if love could possibly do anything worse to him than it already had. Was he even capable of it anymore? He didn't love Nephire. He'd used her to free himself of Earth's imprisonment, and then, in turn, she'd used him for her own means. Did he love Zoe? None of this is interesting to me. Kelowna half expected Nyx to appear before him at any moment, accuse him of being the interloper he so obviously was, and again cast him from her realm. But the goddess did not appear. It seemed Nephire was correct. Had it been his soul and body that Nyx had banished, Erebus himself would have met him to do his goddess's bidding, and, with all the powers of a divine consort, driven his spirit away from the other world. Where is Erebus? Shouldn't he do his job and turf Kelowna's spirit out regardless of a technicality? Like, really? This is a guy that Nyx cast out herself, personally. And Erebus is just sitting there watching his, otherworld CCTV, like, "Oh, there's Kelowna's spirit. Technicality, guess I'll do nothing." Really, book. Kelowna didn't want Zoe to turn into a chaotic she, hence him giving Heath advice. Kelowna put out of his mind the thought of what it would be like to be bereft of the only person who, in 2 lifetimes, had reminded him of his lost goddess and truly made him feel. Zoe really isn't shit, mate. Can I suggest meeting new people and downloading Tinder? Instead, he concentrated on the boy. Heath was the key. It was his death that had caused her soul to shatter, and it was guilt over his death that kept her from being whole again. Foolish human. Does he not know only he can assuage her guilt and allow the healing of her soul? I love how Heath is the one who was murdered, but it's down to him to fix everything. God forbid Zoe ever lifts a finger. Stark. "Zoe, hey, it's me." The sound of his voice acted on her like an electric shock. Her body jerked, and Zoe whirled around to face him. Heath! Get wrecked, Stark. Stark tells Zoe that Heath is going to be reborn so Zoe can see him again. Stark pressed his lips together hard to keep from saying what was tearing him apart inside, that she would have pulled herself together because of how much she loved Heath, but not for him. She didn't love him enough. Ah yes, guilt-tripping, excellent tactic. Also, she's known Heath basically her entire life, and Stark 2 weeks. So of course she loves Heath more. I'd argue she doesn't even love Stark yet because she doesn't know him. Stop normalizing this unrealistic, weird insta-love crap. Also, they keep yapping about honor every other page, almost as much as love, and it's annoying. Get on with it. Stark recites that poem for her. Zoe says it sounds like the poem was meant for Stark. I still don't give a crap. Stark gives a speech about being a guardian and then leaves the grotto to fight Kelowna to trigger Zoe into getting a grip because Kelowna could easily beat Stark. That's the problem with you, Kelowna. You have that god complex going on. Or no, I guess I should call it a goddess complex you got. See, just because you're immortal, it doesn't make you in charge. Actually, in your case, it just makes you wrong for a really, really long time. God, this dialogue is so American. Anytime that like a YouTuber or like whoever is like C, comma, da 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 da, blocked, reported, good job. They start fighting and Kelowna traps Stark. Chapter 29, Zoe. Zoe finally gets a grip, but just watches them fight. Like, she lives for the drama. She loves boys fighting over her. It's the plotline of every book. But the immortal didn't do anything except laugh while Stark struggled painfully to his feet. Zoe isn't a queen. She isn't strong enough. She's just a weak girl who let herself be shattered by the death of one human boy, Kelowna said. True. You're wrong. Zoe isn't weak. She cares. Okay, considering that Kelowna is beating the crap out of Stark right now, look at this. Look at the text that's going to come up. I'm not going to read it out. I don't care. Zoe calls back her soul pieces. Look, 1, 2, 3 like pages of text whilst Kelowna is basically killing Stark. There's a whole lot of yapping to be doing while Stark is getting murdered by Kelowna. The sight of him squeezed my heart. My guardian looked awful. I'm not surprised you were too busy talking about yourself for pages. You have no idea how tired I am of your crap, Kelowna, I said. Both of their heads snapped up. I didn't look away from Kelowna, but I could feel Stark's grin. Go back to the Grove, Zoe, Kelowna said. It's better for you there. You know what I really hate? Guys trying to tell me what to do. Yep, my queen, that's what Heath said. The grin was in Stark's voice now and I had to look at him. I met his battered gaze, and the pride in me I saw reflected there made my eyes fill. My warrior, I whispered to him. While she is yet again too busy yapping, Kelowna stabs Stark in the chest with his spear. When will these people learn to shut up and just get on with things? Also, Stark can't catch a break, can he? He's constantly almost getting killed. He deserves it for being so rude to Aphrodite, though. Anyway, Stark dies. So Zoe stabs Kelowna with the sword. Okay, see? That's what. Say. Just like Stark said, you're wrong. Again, there are different rules in the other world, so I probably could keep you here forever if I want to stay and turn into crazy vengeance girl. But here's the deal. I already almost turned into one kind of crazy girl. I'm not so much interested in doing that again. Plus, I want to go home. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to pay me back the life debt you owe me for killing my consort, Heath Luck, by bringing Stark back to me. Then Stark and me, we're going home. Oh, and by the way, I don't care where you'll be going. You've gone mad. I cannot bring the dead back to life. In this case, I think you can. Stark's body is safe back in the real world along with mine. We're in the other world and it's all about spirit here. You're an immortal, which means you're all about spirit. I'm dying. I'm actually dying. So you're going to take some of your immortal spirit and share it with my guardian and bring him back to me. Now, because you owe it to me. Do you get it? I claim the debt and it's time you paid up. The way Zoe talks is so annoying. I can hear her snapping her fingers as she says all of this. I hate her. Nyx finally turns up to do something. She forbids Kelowna's spirit to her realm and tells him to revive Stark, and then she disappears. Thanks for nothing. I followed him as we walked Stark's body. I returned to you that last sweet breath of life. With it, live again, and accept a small piece of my immortality for the human life I have taken. He is so going to use that piece of him inside Stark later on. Then darkness rips Kelowna up and he disappears. Chapter 30, Zoe. Stark is pretty busted, so Zoe wants Stark to feed from her and absorb her energy. Okay, good. I hope so, I said, feeling suddenly nervous. The only other guy I'd let feed from me had been Heath. My Heath. Since when did Heath feed from her? He's human. Is this a mistake? Also, didn't Lauren drink her blood? And she doesn't mean I fed from Heath. Letting a guy drink my blood was sexual. It felt good. The text doesn't mention Lauren at all, so am I meant to assume that Heath drank her blood at some point? Except that has never happened, I'm pretty sure. Huh? Stark feeds from her and Zoe accepts him as her guardian. His oath rippled through me like a physical thing. Stark was right. It was different than what had happened between us when he'd sworn his oath to me as a warrior. This time, it was as if he'd given me a piece of himself, and I knew that without me, he could never truly be whole again. No skull for 2 weeks. Is this just like the magical equivalent of a shotgun wedding or something? Anyway, they do the oath, and he feeds from her again, and this time the elements flow through her and into him, and with each element, her tattoos reappear, and yes, it goes on for pages. Thank you for asking. Is this all it takes to write a best-selling series, just waffling on for hundreds of pages? Because I'll do it myself and I will make it even shitter than this. Don't tempt me. And I saw Shawnee laughing and doing her victory bump and grind. What is a victory bump and grind? Anyway, Zoe has managed to do a circle without even having her circle there. And somehow they go home. Chapter 31. Stevie Ray. She's with Rafame. His eyes opened and she felt her own widening in her surprise. The blazing scarlet within them had calmed to a rusty colour that was more amber than red. Pound shop Twilight vampire. She has some voicemails from some people. Dallas has run away somewhere and Aphrodite needs to speak to her about her vision. She didn't have to look behind her to make sure he was following. She knew he would. Simp.
Simp!
They decide to stay together. Slowly, very slowly, his fingers twined with hers and he gave a little tug, pulling her closer to his side. I won't let them, she repeated. She didn't look at him. Instead, she held his hand and stole one small moment together. She tried not to think too much. She tried not to question everything. She stared down into the still black water of the fountain, and the cloud that was blanketing the moon lifted, revealing their reflection. I'm a girl who's somehow been bound to the humanity of a guy who is a beast. I suppose this might be the truest love story of the series because she wasn't attracted to him due to his looks and therefore isn't mistaking lust for love, unlike Zoe and her constant rotation of 5 different men. This is just Beauty and the Beast, really. As he spoke, the water rippled as if Nyx herself had breathed across its surface and their reflection changed. The image revealed in the water was Stevie Ray holding the hand of a tall, muscular Native American boy. His hair was thick and long and as black as the raven feathers that were braided into its length. His chest was bare and he was hotter than an Oklahoma blacktop in the middle of the summer. Luckily for Stevie Ray, Rafame's human form is attractive and not Butters because we couldn't have got, could we? Anyway, they start being all, you're pretty, no, you're pretty. But Rafame feels Kelowna's spirit return from the other world and Stevie Ray feels Zoe's return. He's all, oh my god, we can't be together. And she's like, oh my god, yes we can. And then they part. Zoe, they're still back in the other world actually somehow. Oh wait, no. And then Zoe goes back. Oh, for shit's sake, open your eyes. I know you're in there. I did open them then. Jeesh, are you from a trailer? Do you have to be so loud? Love the casual classism, love it. You're really back and you're not like brain damaged or anything? I am, I laughed, and I'm no more brain damaged than I was when I left. Debatable. She notices Stark sliced up like a pastrami sandwich and freaks out but is stopped by Gyach. My guardian, the queen corrected me. Yes, he is helping Stark, but now his quest is complete. It is your responsibility as his queen to bring him back. I opened my mouth to ask her how, but closed it before I spoke. I didn't have to ask her. I knew. Convenient. She used his water element to wash his blood away. His body was clean now. The wounds weren't bleeding anymore, but they were red and raw. And then I realized what I was seeing and I drew in a deep breath. On each side of Stark's chest, the slash work formed arrows, complete with feathers and pointed triangular tips. They made a perfect balance to the burned, broken arrow over his heart. Scars, but make it pretty. She kisses him, and that makes him wake up. As his eyelids fluttered and opened, I heard Nyx's musical laughter fill my mind and her voice saying, "No, daughter, it's not all over. It's just the beginning." We are 7 books in and it's just the beginning. Behave. The end. Okay. That is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Might just follow you back. Check out my second channel. And I'll see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.